The Nintendo Switch is 1 year old today. Happy birthday, Nintendo Switch. I'm a day one owner, so let's talk about my 1 year experience with the Nintendo Switch. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Activesin here, and today the Nintendo Switch has turned 1 year old, so I thought I would talk to you about my experience as a day one owner of the Nintendo Switch. So first off, I thought we'll talk about the actual Switch itself, the hardware. So initially when I saw the Switch, I wasn't sure how it would hold up to wear and tear bringing it around with you. But after using it all this time and bringing it out on the go a lot more than I thought it would, guys, to be honest, I thought I would leave this thing docked all the time and not bring it around with me, because I've had a 3DS, but like I never brought it around with me, and I kind of just gave up on the system. I thought this would just be primarily a dock system, but with the Switch I take it around with me everywhere, and I get to play it in places where you get a little amount of time, like at the bank, in line, playing games while waiting in line. That's pretty cool. I like that. So little times like that, it becomes very useful. And then bring it home, and then you can play dock mode with my Pro controller, which is an awesome controller, by the way. So it just works really well. I like the whole hybrid idea of taking it around with you, then playing at home on the monitor, or I play on a monitor, mostly play on a TV, but I play on a monitor. I think that works really well, but I wasn't sure if it would hold up all that well, but I'm happy to say it has. It's held up really well. The buttons still super clicky. My analog sticks are fine on the Joy-Cons. They still come off and on, no problems at all. Same with this one. So the hardware's held up really well, because I was kind of worried because it's an industrial design. It's more of a premium device. Normally, like, their stuff is plasticky. It's kind of built to last, kind of built to, you know, get banged around, like the 3DS, for example. But this is not like that, so I wasn't sure if it would hold up, but it has. I don't have any dents or scratches on it. My touchscreen still works perfectly well. I do have a tempered glass on here just so I wouldn't get any scratches, but even on the tempered glass there's no scratches from the dock, so no problems there. The only thing I've noticed is on the back, the center area. I guess that's where the processor is. It gets super warm when I have it in the dock and I play for extended periods of time. I think that's normal for the Switch. I'm not sure, but that's the only thing I've noticed. Otherwise, the hardware has been great. Now, software. You know what, guys? I don't have a problem saying year one of the Switch, software-wise, best out of any console ever, easily, no question. The first year of the Switch has been incredible. Of course, we started Zelda Breath of the Wild. Oh yes, amazing game, amazing Zelda game. It's changed the way we look at Zelda. It's changed the way we look at open world games. Fantastic title, especially to launch a console with. How often do you launch a console with such an amazing game with so much content that helps you out through the first couple months? Then you get stuff like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's a port over from the Wii U, but got extra content, runs better, looks better, and I can take it around with me now. I love my Mario Kart. You guys know that I love my Mario Kart. We got stuff like ARMS on the Switch, Splatoon 2 that came out. That was a good game as well. What was it? The Pokken Tournament, Fire Emblem Warriors. Then we had my little favorite game here, Super Mario Odyssey. Oh, I love this game. This is my favorite Mario game now. For 3D. 2D is still Super Mario World, but 3D Mario games, this is mine. Oh, I love this game. The gameplay mechanics that they've added from Cappy, the different ways you can play with Mario now, unbelievable amounts of fun. That's the most fun I've had with a game in a long time, so they nailed it with Mario. So you have Mario and a Zelda in the first year, unbelievable. And then even more recently, we have Bayonetta 2, of course. I've been playing this a lot. This is one of my favorite games. I think this is my favorite game from the Wii U, and now it's on the Switch. It looks better, runs better, and again, play it on the go. This is fantastic. If you don't have this game, you should get this game. Just telling you, it's awesome. And it comes with the original Bayonetta as well. Fantastic game. And that's just the exclusive stuff. And then we have third-party games of stuff like Doom, Skyrim, LA Noire, NBA 2K18, some big third-party games. FIFA's on there too. There were some that didn't work too well, like WWE 2K18, which is unfortunate. because I was looking forward to that game, and it turned out to be a really bad port. Hopefully it gets fixed later and I can finally pick it up, but as of right now, it's still not working too good. And then there's a lot of really good indie games on the Switch. This thing right here, this Switch, has become like a haven for indie games. I would say it's the best place to play indie games outside of PC, simply because of the number of games there. But like, indie games run well on the Switch. They look as good as on the other consoles, and you can take it around with you. This thing is fantastic for indie games, and they're getting a lot of high quality ones too, like Shantae. We got Celeste. We have one of my personal favorites, Battle Chef Brigade. That's a fantastic game. Golf Story. That's an exclusive one. A lot of good indie games on there, like Owlboy. There's a bunch more on the way. This thing, the Switch already has like over 300 games in 1 year. That's crazy to think about. 300 games within 1 year, more than that. In 1 year is a lot of content to keep up with. Basically getting a ton of indie games every week, and then some exclusives here and there, and some third-party games. It's been a good mix-up of games for the Switch for the first year. It's been consistent, and they've done a really good job with the software. So like 2 thumbs up, A+. They killed it for the first year of the Switch. Easily the first year of any console. Feel free to tell me otherwise in the comments below, but I think it's hard to argue with that. Now, let's talk about some things I don't like about the Switch, because we're going to talk about the pros, the cons, the Joy-Cons, wordplay. Yeah, okay. But the main thing, of course, the online network is not great. Kind of giving it a pass for now, because the paid network comes this year in September. So for this first year, it's kind of been it's kind of been whatever, but it's free, so whatever. The lack of apps has kind of been annoying. It's been a year. I thought we'd have had more apps by now, like Netflix, Amazon Prime, WWE Network, Crunchyroll, stuff like that. We have Hulu, but in Canada we don't have Hulu here, so it's kind of pointless to me. There's no YouTube app, which kind of sucks. There's no web browser yet either. So these are kind of things I want on the Switch. I was thinking we'd have them by now, but it did not make it in the first year, so I gotta put that down as a negative. Also, we can record on the Switch. We can record 30 seconds of gameplay. I think they're gonna up it to 5 minutes later, so that's really cool. But I would love to be able to stream games natively from the Switch, so I don't have to use a capture card anymore, because those can be troublesome and finicky. So being able to stream natively would be a lot better. Another thing, it's kind of a small thing, but there's no way to make a custom background on the Switch, and there's no folders, so the game's kind of why aren't you moving? Just are all kind of like this. You can't really organize them. I'd rather be able to organize them like Nintendo games, third-party games, and indie games in their own folders. I just like doing stuff like that. That could come later, but as of right now, it's not here. The only other thing is the actual game cartridges. Some of the games are too large for the cartridges, so we have to download part of the game. I don't like that. One of the big advantages of the Switch with the game cartridge is you just pop it in and you start playing. That is a huge advantage to the Switch, because on the Xbox and the PlayStation, you gotta download the game from the disc. It takes forever. This thing, you just pop it in and go. It's awesome. But when you have to download the game, it kind of defeats the purpose of using a cartridge. So hopefully Nintendo brings out the larger 32 and 64 gig cartridges out. It makes them cheaper, so we can get the games on the cartridge and just play. That would be fantastic. But other than that, I don't really have any other negatives about the Switch. It's been fantastic. I guess the only other thing that's starting to show its head, and we might see more of this later on, is game performance on some third-party games. Some of the games are starting to run kind of mediocre. The stuff like, or they have to make big sacrifices, like lower the resolution below 720p, or the frame rate doesn't even lock at 30. Stuff like Doom or Payday 2 and some other third-party games. It doesn't happen too much on the Nintendo game side. It doesn't really happen on indie games, but larger third-party games, especially ones from this generation, like stuff from last gen like Skyrim and LA Noire, they run fine. They look great. They run perfectly fine. But stuff from this gen seems to have a little more issues here and there. That's kind of a limitation of the hardware, so hopefully they find a way around this, maybe use more dynamic scaling. But that might become a problem in the future. But as of right now, it hasn't been too bad. Other than that, I don't really have any problems with the Switch. It's been great. I've had it for a year now. I've had a lot of fun with this thing. It's increased my gaming time because I can play it out and about and then bring it back home. I like it. It's a great system. And of course, I'm waiting for year 2 to end so we can talk about the experiences, the adventures we've had on this thing, because this thing is amazing and I love this thing. It's currently I think it's my favorite console right now. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. That's about it, guys. First year of the Switch has been a very positive one. Very happy with my little Nintendo Switch hybrid device. Let me know in the comments below, are you a day one owner of the Switch as well? What's your experience with the Switch so far? Let's talk about it. Make sure to hit that notification bell. It's right below that like button. You can hit that as well. Share the video, subscribe if you have not done so already. Have a great day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.